which I always think our first topics are icebreaker. It's never our main topic, and that's the Los Angeles Rams. Obviously, big win, although they did almost, blow up a decent lead to the Indianapolis Colts, end up winning in overtime. What do we think of the Rams? Because at first we were talking about, okay, I think the Bucs might be a sneaky playoff team. I think the Bucs are kind of the underrated team in this division, and now the Rams have been pretty good. They found a receiver in Puka Nacua, who I'd love to talk about, a guy who looks like right now he will shatter the reception record. And they have just pieces. Kyron Williams, new RB1. He seems to be the guy there. Obviously Stafford, we know, is a quarterback who can lead a team to a Super Bowl. But I'll go to Charlie first. Just, I guess, when you look at the Rams, just in terms of playoff and kind of obviously a weaker NFC and a more open NFC, although Surge did kind of break that myth when he talked about the AFC and NFC. But Charlie, what do you think about the Rams coming off this week 4 win?
I think the Rams are a really interesting case in the NFL right now because I think a lot of people were expecting them to only win 3 games all year or 4 games all year. Maybe you said 5 or 6, but they're already 2-2. The concerning thing for me about the Rams is that the 2 losses are against the 2 best teams they've played. They played the Bengals and they played the 49ers, who were both in a conference championship last year, and they lost both of those games. And then they played against the Colts and the Seahawks, 2 teams that I don't think are particularly good in the NFL right now. I mean, people can disagree with me. I don't particularly like the Colts or the Seahawks this year. So there are only 2 wins against those 2 teams. But you said it, Kyron Williams has been fantastic as their RB1. Puka Nacua has been an unbelievable Cooper Kupp replacement as their wide receiver 1. And now Cooper Kupp, I believe, is back this week or next week. And I can't really pick Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and Tutu Atwell as a receiving core is actually like a really, really good receiving core. The only concerning thing for me about that receiving core is it's a lot of, at least with Puka and with Cooper Kupp, those are target-heavy players who aren't exactly your jump ball threat. They don't have a jump ball threat for the most part. I know they've got like a guy like Van Jefferson who just isn't that good, but I actually think the Rams are a really sneaky 7th spot for this wild card in the NFC because Key and I agree with you more so that I don't think the NFC is very strong. I think it's a lot of roughly 500 teams. So if the Rams can win 9 games, then that could be enough to win them a wild card spot. And we know that what they've got defensively with Aaron Donald. So who knows?
I think statistically based, Nakua's been better than Cooper Kupp. Nakua's been a better receiver than Cooper Kupp, statistically wise.
I think Nakua's lack of touchdowns is rough.
Dylan, yes, his best season. Correct me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kupp had the receiving record. Nakua is on pace to shatter that reception record by 40.
Yeah, catches. for receptions, yes, but for yards and touchdowns now.
Yeah, but yards, he's very much on the way. He had almost 200 last week. Touchdowns, I agree with you.
I don't think he would have broken the Kupp record with this pace, but
what
it would be
concerns me
close.
about Nacua is the fact that he's only got 1 touchdown all year.
Yeah,
that's where Cooper Kupp gets you touchdowns. He gets you. But everything.
I think it's a really interesting duo there because if you can have a guy who can really just get you drive downfield, but I would love to see. And I think you're right. And a lot of people have been talking about just obviously for Nacua when Kupp ends up coming back. He's just a lot of people. And again, I don't like talking fantasy when it comes to the real sport, but like a sell high player, just because when Cooper Kupp comes back, we know how much of the target share, but it's super interesting too. To Atwell, good deep threat, really, kind of joystick type player. I think the Rams have an offense there. They definitely have an offense there. We saw Aaron Donald was fantastic against the Colts. So I think they definitely, I agree with you 100%, Charlie. Playoff wise, I think they're definitely in the race if they can kind of, absolutely, not lose a ton of games.
Yeah. I mean, Puka Nacua's production is going to go downhill drastically, and it's not because he's going to get worse. It's not because Cooper Kupp's coming back just to occupy. It's because Cooper Kupp's occupying the exact space that Puka Nacua is occupying right now. So when Kupp comes back, there's no way on earth they keep Nacua in. I think the Rams are a playoff team regardless. I mean, going into the season, it was always a last dance type scenario because Donald's not coming back after this year. Stafford's not coming back after this year. Potentially you could lose Cooper Kupp. There's just a lot of uncertainty. McVay's been talking about retiring. So it's like, where's going to be the line that you draw? And they said, you know what, 2023, 2024 season, we have a chance to do something again. And it's going to be it. So you put everything into this season, you get yourself into a rebuild. And I think they've done a really good job in building a little mini rebuild after last season, getting Kyron Williams, getting Puka Nacua. And now you're kind of waiting for that last dance jump. But then you also have these young pieces. So it's a really good build into a 6 seed, 7 seed that could build into a team that really doesn't need their tank season. So I think they've done it really well.
Yeah, I actually disagree though with the fact that Puka Nacua is going to get a lot less playing time with Cooper Kupp coming back.
I didn't say playing time. I'm saying target share.
You
No,
said
no, I
playing
agree with
time.
that.
You did say that he's not going to be on the field.
I might have said it. I meant target share.
But I think what actually is a common misconception is that Puka Nacua actually isn't really playing this slot. Not at least not nearly as much as Cooper Kupp has. He's actually, at least for the first few games, he was lining up out wide 70% of the time. So I think he gets a lot of a very similar route share to Cooper Kupp, and that's where maybe he might get hurt. But he's going to be playing at least a similar like first alignment to where he was before Cooper Kupp. So
I agree, Serge. Yeah.
And
finish.
And also, Puka Nacua is a bit. He's what, 6'3"? Like he's definitely could be a target.
But Cooper Kupp's also big.
I think
Cooper Kupp's not 6'3" though.
Yeah.
Not to like I think I'm with Serge on this one. I think Nacua is not necessarily occupying the Cooper Kupp role in terms of where he's playing and his play style. He's just occupying the Cooper Kupp role in the sense that he's the target leader right now.
No.
Cooper Kupp will come back and he will slot into this team seamlessly. It'll be Kupp and it'll be Nacua.
No,
both of them will play in
it's
not
possible.
perfect harmony necessarily.
It's not possible.
But I'm not saying that. I don't know what you're saying isn't possible.
Yeah,
I don't think I said anything weird.
It's not possible that Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua play perfectly together. I know you didn't say perfectly, but it's not possible that they slot in together and both of them keep up their production. Because
no, but I didn't say they would both keep up their production. So Cooper Kupp will slot in, and Nakua's production will decrease. It was going to be my next sentence if you hadn't interrupted.
Okay. My bad.
Because Nacua, while he's not playing the Cooper Kupp role, is getting the target share that Cooper Kupp was getting, just from a different spot. So when Cooper Kupp is back, you can expect Cooper Kupp to get his target share back for the most part. I think it'll probably be slightly less than his nearly 2,000-yard receiving season. But Nacua, his production, he had, I think, I don't know what the exact number was, but close to 50 targets for the first 4 weeks, which is just ridiculous. He won't have that over the next 4 weeks. Kupp will have more, but Nakua's production I think will still be there, just not in the same magnitude.
Well, I think you guys are kind of. Go ahead.
Let's just take a moment to acknowledge the beautiful scenic background at Dylan's window right now. Look at that. Look at that.
Kind of nice. Yeah.
I think going back, I think we all can agree that obviously Puka Nacua isn't going to have the same production that he has without when Cooper Kupp returns to the lineup. But what he's proven is that he's actually a very good receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's going to happen is while his production is going to decrease, his efficiency is actually probably going to increase with Kupp in the lineup, because obviously he's going to have the targets that he's going to have. He's going to not be fed the ball as much, but when he's going to be fed the ball, they're going to be a lot more. He's obviously going to be very open a lot more, and he's going to have another weapon that he can really trust if Puka Nacua isn't open, because he's clearly the weapon that Stafford likes the most by a mile right now. So I think having two weapons with kind of different skill sets, in the sense that I know they kind of seem like similar players, but obviously Kupp, like you said, is a lot more efficient in the red zone, and
they are similar players.
They are
if
similar
you look
players,
at the way they're running
routes, there's subtle differences that I think.
Of course, there are differences, but
I think Dylan, you're looking at that just because Nacua is getting like a ton of production, like Cooper Kupp.
No,
like
but if you watch the way they play, it looks very similar.
I was about to point that out. I think what the similarity between Nacua and Kupp is that Sean McVay is their coach and they have the same offensive coordinator.
That's exactly what
I'm saying. So when you watched Cooper Kupp play during his nearly 2,000 yards, 16 touchdown season, it was like watching Travis Kelce. Like, he just was always open.
That's the same with
for
Nacua.
for some wacky ass reason, like Kupp was just always open. And when I've watched Nacua play this year, he's just always open. It's not because Puka Nacua is one of the best receivers in the NFL, because he's a rookie and he's only played 4 games.
That's Nico Collins.
That's Nico Collins. Okay, we're gonna get to him later. But
I'm sorry.
What Sean McVay does with his wide receiver ones is there's a masterful game plan put in that just gets his guy open. So it's not that they're necessarily similar players, but they occupied a similar role in McVay's offense despite playing from different spots on the field.
I would say they are similar players, but that's why they occupy the same role. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
I agree, and I think I think by virtue his production will go down, but I think first game the Kupp comes back, watch Nacua. I think Nacua could very much have the same stat line. I think just it's not even because Kupp prefers Kupp, or excuse me, why did I say Kupp? Stafford prefers Nacua, but it might just because it's like kind of like, you know, it's just like not memorization is not the right word, but it's just been such a consistent target for Stafford that just he hasn't been with Kupp. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nacua stays productive for that first 2 weeks, even when Kupp's back. But I think for the Rams, it's a good problem to have. Let's just say that it's a good problem to have two guys like that. What do we think? If let's do a game. We'll do a percentage chance that the Rams make the playoffs to close it out at 100%. What do we think it is? I'll go to you first, Surge.
I think. Wait, sorry. Can you say the question again? My internet was like
What percent chance do you got the Rams in the playoffs?
I would say right now, I'd say 60-70%. I think I'm pretty confident. They got Aaron Donald, who I don't know if he's still the best defensive lineman in the game, but he's still elite. He's still Aaron Donald. And they've got a few young guys around them that are making this defense better than what was expected. And I think the offense, again, like I said, I understand that obviously a lot of Puka Nacua's success is down to Sean McVay, but at the same time, I think you got to give him a little bit of credit because we saw last year when Cooper
We're
Kupp
not
was
taking
out,
any credit from Puka Nacua.
there was definitely like a lot. No one really stepped up to play that role that Puka Nacua is playing this year. But I think I would be surprised with Stafford, who seems a lot more revitalized than last year, with two really good weapons, with a guy like Kyron Williams, who's having a really good year, getting a lot of touchdowns. He's playing pretty well. I would be surprised if they don't make the playoffs. And like I said, an NFC that is right now a bit top heavy. So I'd say I think they will make the playoffs.
You said the NFC wasn't top heavy, but
well, it's not. I mean, it's like well, it is.
Yeah.
Now he's caught up. I wasn't really expecting a
I was
monologue.
gonna say the
I don't
AFC,
understand.
no,
What is your
the
percent
NFC
chance
is
they
more
make the
top
playoffs?
heavy than the AFC. Like
I
I
asked
wouldn't
like
expect.
Sure,
I
it was
asked
a
like
really
a-
straightforward
I
question.
asked
It
a
wasn't
This is
very
a
asking
number-
for the
question.
this is
monologue.
This is
It
a
was
number. I'm looking for a
This
number.
is a
and you
numbers question. Yeah.
don't go back to the Surge who does insane. No, I'm joking. Do whatever you want. But I'm just saying, like, we asked a very simple question and you just did not.
Well,
answer.
I didn't hear you because like my internet was
But then
like.
Charlie
gone.
repeated the question.
My internet.
All right, but we're
You
off
go
track.
to-
Serge, what is the
What is-
percent chance that you think the Rams will make the playoffs?
60%.
Okay, Dylan, what do you think?
I'm gonna give it a 57% chance.
Okay.
All right,
I'm right in that area with y'all. I'll just because we're being weird. I guess I'll go 64.2%.
I
Yeah,
think
you got to
it's,
add a decimal in there.
Nah, I think I would, but I actually am very confident. I think it's like a 40% chance they make it. I think it's
Ooh.
like I think it's very dependent on how these next few weeks go, and I want to see them with Kupp, and then I feel like I
Yeah.
can make my final decision. But I want to see them with Kupp,
That's
see how
totally
they do
fair.
with Kupp, and see if Donald can still be productive and kind of see the dynamic between the two receivers. But